Alright, in this little clip, my goal is to show you guys how to save what Ableton calls an Ableton Live clip, ALC. An ALC file is actually a really powerful hidden tool within Ableton that a lot of people don't know about. Let me show you what an ALC can do. In my user library, I have a few of those. So if I come to my user library, let's say presets, and then I come down here to instruments, and then for example, let's see, now I need to remember where I've saved this one. I have several, but right here, so what you see is that there is those standard credit card 2-box windows, right? And then you see some of these guys are actually little clips, right? So they have this symbol with that little play button and that small sound wave. And you see right behind it, right there, that says ALC. Okay? So watch what happens if I fire up an ALC file. Let's go. Yeah, let's just go for this guy. So I just double click on this ALC file. Ableton's going to take a second to load. But now it created a new track, and there's that first clip is the clip. Okay? So in this case, this clip is actually empty. There's no MIDI information in this clip. I simply use this clip as a dummy clip. But with this clip, what happens is that Ableton remembers not just settings, but it also remembers everything that's going on in the next level pertaining to potentially plugins and things like that. And so, because if I have an instrument rack, I can save that, but plugin information won't always carry over. In this case though, I used this Labs piano plugin, and you see that I wanted it to be set to the soft piano, and then for example this guy is only turned up one smidge, yeah, it's at 5%. By default this guy is at 100%. If you fire up this plugin, it's going to be at 100%. And so I was able to save this, and then of course I have this rack, and you know how to save instrument racks, effect racks, and things like that. And they will be those little check card, not check card, credit card item type things. Again, if it's a box and it's cut in the middle, that means it's a rack. That's what's happening. Yeah? It's basically showing you the title bar with several instances. I think is what they're trying to show. Okay, let's fire up another one. You can also drag a clip take this clip and drag it into the open. The key thing is that you do have to place it as a new track. If you drag this on top of an existing track, if it's empty, I think it'll work. If you drop it onto an existing track that has already instrument information, it's not going to replace it. Then you only get the clip if you have MIDI saved inside this clip, which that's the second thing. Not only can I save my instrument with this ALC clip, but I can also save, of course, MIDI information. So if there's a specific MIDI clip, let's say a melody or an arpeggio or some sort of pattern, and you want to save that chord progression or that arpeggio pattern with that particular sound. Yeah. So there's also MIDI information. Both of these examples are empty because I'm using them more as a dummy clip. But you can also then, of course, save MIDI. Now here, look at this guy. The interesting thing is that in this case, I have 3 instances, and you see they're not grouped. So you don't have to have it be an instrument rack in order for this to work. If you save the ALC clip, it just remembers everything that happened inside that clip the moment you saved it. Now in this case, I do have this is an old instance of trying to use Reason as an external source, so that's not going to work in this case. So that didn't carry over, but the interesting thing really that I wanted to show with this one is that you see there's 3 instances, not it being a full rack that is saved. And so that's the thing of an ALC clip. Now let me just show you how to do that. Right here, we have this spacious choir unit, yeah, and it's ridiculously simple to create an ALC clip. For demonstration purposes, let me actually also record some MIDI into this. So get this clip going, 66, okay. Here we go. So there's our MIDI clip. You see it's just this basic, I put the wrong note, let's delete that. And then I'm just going to make these guys a tiny bit shorter. Bam. Okay, so now this is the clip that I'm super happy with, and I want to save this. This is such a common prayer room pattern where I'm like, hey, so I'm going, root 5, root 4, root 6, root 5, root 3, root 4. Let's say I just really love the way this feels, and I feel like I'm going to be launching and starting mini cycles with this. Yeah. So I want to save it, but I don't want to say. I want to save not only this chord progression or only that sound, but literally I want to have that as a combo. And so right here's my ALC clip. So you can hit Command R to rename it either in the box or down here under my clip settings. That's the same box, by the way. So if I give this a title right here, Amazing Choir. Bam. So now you see it changed the title also in my session view. Okay, so now if we come down here and take Amazing Choir and drag it into my user library. So here under, let's go pad, and I just drag it right here and drop it. Bam. Creates it as an ALC. So now we have Amazing Choir ALC. Let's take this even a step further. So let's say we have this choir sound, but we are going to experiment with some echo, just for fun. Let's just give this some crazy values. All right, so that's our Amazing Choir with the wobble. Wow, that's quite insane. That's a perfect example. So I'm gonna record another ALC clip here real quick. Again, I'll even throw some MIDI in, or actually, let's not throw MIDI in. So this sound is just crazy. I know I'm gonna use it for some project, so I want to save it. It's not worth saving as an entire rack because it's just a little blip of an idea. So I double click to create an empty MIDI clip, give this a title. This is not our Amazing, but this is our, with a Q, Crazy Choir. Okay, same thing. I come to the spot in my browser that I want to save it at, grab the Crazy Choir, also drop it into this path folder. Bam, there's an ALC file. Good. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm going to start a whole new Ableton set. Bam, new set, don't need to save that. Everything that I want, I have saved. Yeah. Okay, new live set. Here are our Amazing Choir and our Crazy Choir as ALC files. Let's bring these guys in. 1 and 2. So now I have this spacious choir with the Amazing Choir clip, and you see right there is our MIDI information, but also the information of the choir. If we would have changed drastic settings, these would be still the same settings. Then let's come over here, Crazy Choir. Of course, there's no information. Oh, stop playing this one. There's no information in this clip, but if we look down here, we already see there's some crazy values. So if we play this guy, so there are those crazy wobbles. I turned on the dry wet earlier. So it even saved that the dry wet was at 75. I turned it down because it got too crazy, and then is when I saved the ALC, so that at the very last spot that it was at. And so that's how you can use Ableton ALC files. Again, it comes in really handy if you have plugins or other sources. So you can save the whole thing as a plugin. Now, another last crazy thing is, if you save clips like this, if they're MIDI based with an instrument, like if you have plugins, you know how you can preview them? You can't preview that sound if you have a plugin. But if you have it saved as an ALC clip, if you come to the browser, so like here my Amazing Choir, and I hit click to preview, Ableton actually does the quick calculation, and it previews with the information that is in that clip. Yeah, so if you have specific sounds related to plugins or other sources and you want to save that specific sound, always I would recommend still trying to save it as an instrument rack too. Bundle it all together, make it a rack, but this is a very good option as well related to specific MIDI clips and specific information. So that's the power tool of Ableton ALC, Ableton Live Clips. Not too many know about it. Really powerful.